Welcome back. Like I promised, I have Joyce Konadu ready for you to share with us her journey. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great by God's grace.
Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful morning.
You're welcome.
I would like you to take us through your initiative in the Girls Support Movement. But right before that, who is Joyce Konadu?
Well, thank you so much. I would love to say good morning to our viewers in Kenya and in Ghana here. I believe I have some family and friends watching. All right, I go by the name Joyce Konadu Aidan. I'm a Ghanaian, a full Ghanaian, and a good citizen as that. Joyce Konadu Aidan is a social entrepreneur who has community development at heart. I think that is it for now. As we delve in.
Okay, that is Joyce Konadu. Take us through the Girls Support Movement. What does the Girls Support Movement entail?
Girl Support Movement, or GSM, is an SDG-focused community. And when we say community, it's a community because whoever passes through our hands becomes part of us. The person's capacity is built, and then the person takes up the role in her community. So it is an SDGs-focused community, and with the SDGs we are focusing on are the third and fourth, good health and then good education, where we are into girl-child development. So talking about girl-child development, we look at the sexual and reproductive health of the girl child. We look at the educational aspects of the girl child. And we also look at the career aspects of the girl child. So we prepare the girl holistically. We also look at vulnerable children. We support the vulnerable child in terms of their education and in their rights. And then we also help to eradicate teenage pregnancy in Ghana. That was actually the premise of Girl Support Movement. We used to do just teenage pregnancy awareness and menstrual hygiene education, but now we've opened our borders and we are into holistic girl child support and then eradication of teenage pregnancy and also support of vulnerable children in the society. We have several programs. I mentioned the sexual and reproductive health education. We have menstrual drive, which seeks to eradicate menstrual poverty. So we distribute sanitary pads in certain areas that pads are not really affordable, just to promote menstrual hygiene. We do academic support. And under academic support, we have programs like Shiro Squeeze, where we organize quiz competition among girls in basic and senior high schools to prepare them for STEM. That's science and maths and technology. So we also have the mentorship. We have mentorship sessions, and we also do capacity building just to prepare the girl child we have developed to take up as a community leader. I think this is what we are basically into.
Curious, what inspired you to do all this? What inspired your journey to get into community service and help these girls and vulnerable children?
Thank you. With what inspired me, I don't know, but I usually do not find it comfortable talking about because it's been a very tough journey as that. I remember after high school, I had to prepare myself for tertiary. It wasn't that easy. You know, there's financial issues in Africa here. So I had to log on to a school as a pupil teacher. So I was teaching as an untrained teacher. But luckily enough for me, because maybe I was quite outspoken at that moment. And then I also had the girl child at heart. I was selected as the girl child education facilitator. So as I was serving as a facilitator, I had a number of girls who used to come to me. I used to counsel the girls, advise them in how to take good care of themselves. Then there was this particular girl that got close to me and shared her story. It was out of financial problems. poverty in Africa is some way. So she shared a story with me that things were very hard at home, and she had this guy who was taking care of her. The guy was her classmate. They were all in junior high school in the same classroom, but the guy was providing her basic needs, and the guy's mom was so supportive. But she told me she felt like it was an obligation for her to be having sex, excuse me to say, with a guy because the guy was taking care of her. And honestly speaking, I felt I wasn't in the best position to advise this little girl of mine because myself, I was trying to make life better for myself. So what I asked myself, if I tell her to stop having sex with a guy, what if the guy stops taking care of her? I don't have that capacity to take care of her. So it was quite dicey for me. Though I was advising her, I wasn't bold enough to hit the nail right in the head that, hey, you are too young, you might get pregnant and blah blah. To cut the long story short, my girl became pregnant, and it was very tough for me. It was tough for her family. It was tough for everyone around. We couldn't abort it. We had to keep it. And then the guy had to continue his education through senior high, and the girl had to drop out. So I learned a very big lesson that you don't only need money to change your society or to change the narrative. You can use yourself as an inspiration. You can advise people. You can lead people to individuals who have the means. We have people who have money but do not have ideas to develop their community. So if God has given you the idea, why don't you bring on board people who have the resources? So that was how Girl Support Movement came about. Though we had no money to donate to people, we put together strategies and then brought on board people, benevolent people who had the resources. We bring the strategy and then they bring their resources on board and we undertake projects. And I must say that we've impacted on a lot of girls.
Thank you so much, Joyce. But I'm curious. The young girl that came to you and told you her story and later on ended up being pregnant. Did you ever reach back out through your program and maybe follow up and give assistance when you started the program that maybe she inspired?
Sure. She's actually the first person. She was our focus as at that time. She's the first person who benefited from us because it looks like she brought her dream to life. I'm not saying that what happened to her was supposed to happen to her, but fortunately and unfortunately, she brought our dreams to life. After some time, after a while, her mom had to take up taking care of her child, and then we enrolled her back in school. And though her dreams and aspirations changed as time went on, instead of being a nurse, she decided to go into vocational training, which she's doing very well. She's doing so well now. And very soon we have an upcoming program. She'll be on board as a mentor to some girls.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Speaking of which, that's one success story. What other success story can you share in regards to your girl support movements?
Here we have a number of success stories. The biggest one I'm always proud to talk about is the fact that we have a little over 2,000 girls, schoolgirls or adolescent schoolgirls who depend on girl support movements for their sanitary pads. So every time we deliver their sanitary pads to their various schools for their girl child facilitators to distribute to them. And the other success story I think I'm very proud of is the fact that there is one woman in one village, should I say a village, or let's say a rural area that we reached out to. And in that rural area, it's hard to find families spending money on their girl child in school. They believe that the boys are supposed to be in school and the girls are supposed to be trained at home, responsible wives and future mothers and the likes, And after our outreach and advice to some parents, after going there for them to see us, one parent reached out to me, an old woman reached out to me and was like, Madam, I love the way you come around, how you dress, when you come with your girls, the way you speak English, and all the community girls are around you. And I want my girl to be like you. So I told her that, your girl can be like any of us and can be more, can be better. So she needs to get to school. She needs to go to school and then study and become the woman of her dreams. She can become a teacher, a lawyer, a policewoman, and so on and so forth. So the woman invited me to her home and asked me to tell her daughter, advise her daughter, and tell her to pledge to her that when she goes to school, she's going to do her best. So we spoke, we sat down, we spoke, and the girl promised her mom that she's going to do her best to become a great woman and to take care of her and the family. So she agreed, and the girl, I think she's done with junior high school. She'll be done with junior high school this year, and she'll be going to senior high school next year, God willing. So I think that is one very big success story.
It's a very beautiful story. You're doing such an amazing job. Before we get into your journey now with vulnerable children, what are some of the challenges you face while trying to support these teenage girls?
Well, there have been a number of challenges, but we've overcome them too. In Africa here, it's hard to raise funds. So fundraising has been a challenge since we started, even as at now. But I realized that people would always wait for you to make or bring out results, positive ones at that, before they come on board. So if you are bringing up a new project, people contemplate, is this real? Is it genuine? Is it worth it? So they stay back and relax and wait for you to go through the stress to achieve whatever you want to achieve before they decide to come on board. And also, when we go to communities like the rural areas where teenage pregnancy is rampant, you know that a girl cannot impregnate herself. She's either impregnated by a boy or a man.
Yep.
And sometimes you find these men being influential in their community, So you go to a community and you want to meet community leaders, you meet them and you discuss your strategy with them or your purpose with them, your goal with them, that we are against teenage pregnancy and we are here to create awareness. And these men are among the leaders. So sometimes it becomes difficult and they'll be tossing you here and there, because when you come and talk about it, they are not going to get the girls again, Sometimes security becomes a problem, because I want to use our incoming project as an example. As a Sewa is one suburb, one area, one rural area that teenage pregnancy is really serious there. And we've already started having certain reports that we need to be going around with the police for security, because when we start engaging the girls, the boys will get angry and so on and so forth. So I see these things like this as challenges, but I believe that we are going to see it too.
Mm-hmm. You also have now the initiative whereby you keep vulnerable children in school. How do you do that? How is the initiative? How do you identify the vulnerable children and some of the needs they have that are keeping them out of school?
Okay. We are working hand in hand with Ghana Education Service. So we visit, when we pick a community, we have visits in some schools where we take records from the school leaders, So we meet their head teachers and their teachers, and we ask them a lot of questions, and we also get in touch with their families. So first, we go to their families or their areas, their immediate community, and then study from afar, and then also get records of children attendance, and we find out the reason why a particular child does not come to school. We also take records of the performance, academic performance of children, and then we find out what they lack. what they need that can help facilitate their learning in school. So that is how we identify these vulnerable children.
And how do you, or rather, where do you get the material to now actually support or facilitate the essentials that they lack? Like, where do you get the uniforms, the bags, the books, and the likes?
So this is where I'll thank our benevolent people, family, friends, and then people who have always been in support. We have a lot of people who have been supportive. So we do fundraising. So far, it's the traditional fundraising we've been doing on our social media platforms, church, school platforms, community, through radio stations. So we call out for people and then we let them know the problem at hand and the solution we are bringing on board. We set out a budget and then share with them. And we have a number of people who contribute. And GSM, or Girl Support Movement, also has a board. Our board of directors have been very, very supportive. Sometimes the funds do not come from the society, but our board of directors take up the course and then they provide whatever we need for us to undertake such projects.
You've mentioned board of directors, and I'm curious, what does your team look like? What does your team consist of?
All right, so my team is a hierarchy. We have the founding CEO, which is me, and I work hand in hand with our board of directors. So we have 3 directors, people that are very responsible, quite known or accepted in society. So let's say I work with 3 big people. Then down the hierarchy, we have the administrator. We have an administrator, we have our secretary, we have our projects director, and we have a number of volunteers. So this is my team.
Oh, so would you be comfortable sharing with us like the responsibilities and roles now in the initiatives?
Yes. So let me start from the board of directors. The board of directors, they work hand in hand with me. So since I'm the goal carrier or the vision carrier, I bring out my vision. We sit down and put together strategies. And then we also work hand in hand with the administrator. So after setting down the strategies, directors vet these strategies and then add their thoughts or their ideas. We finalize everything. Then the administrator also comes on board and then make sure that everything is being administered right. We also have our secretary who is into record taking and then who has been doing a lot of rounds on my behalf. So when we go for meetings, sometimes she represents me. She serves as my PA as well. Sometimes she represents me. Sometimes she also takes the minutes as usual. And we also have our projects director who goes for scouting with the administrator. Usually I'm not around. I do a lot of traveling. So the project director and the administrator, they scout. So they look at the strategy, the kind of problem you want to solve within a particular time. Then they go around, they move from one rural area to the other and have their research done. But sometimes we bring on board consortiums depending on the kind of project that we want to undertake. Then we also have research people who take up research for us so that in our proposals we can have good, like, so that we can put together a good proposal, that with the statistics and all that. So we have some research people who come on board. Then they work hand in hand with our projects director. Then they arrange a very good project that is going to suit the solution that we have on paper. Then he puts together the logistics and all that. That's the project director. He puts together the logistics needed, and volunteers come on board. From there, we share the rules. If they need to go with us to do the work, they go with us. If their work is to publicize and then make sure that we have funds to be able to undertake the project, they do that.
let's get back to now the vulnerable school-going children. What are some of the challenges you face while trying to support them and, give them the help that they need?
Okay, I think the main challenge is you supporting a vulnerable child, a child you see as vulnerable, and then the family doesn't really come on board, like doesn't really be on the same page with you. So as at now, there are parents who do not value education. So you would provide everything a child needs, like the school uniform, the books. Sometimes you can pay certain fees that the child needs to keep him in school. You give the child everything and you go and the parent is going to farm with the child. That has been a challenge, but I know little by little things will get better.
There's an award you won, a women's award you won in regards to what you're currently doing. Tell us about that.
Okay, I have my plaque here actually.
Oh, congratulations.
Global Award, so Social Entrepreneur of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So over the weekend, I was awarded as the Social Entrepreneur of the Year. Mm-hmm. It was an honor for to recognize and then commend me for the good things I've taken up in society, like my contribution to the society. Yeah.
Wow. You're also a youth mentor, right?
Yes.
Tell us about the journey in youth mentorship, the youth you mentor, what you do with the youth, the kind of youth you talk to, and how the journey has been.
Okay, so virtually I became a youth mentor when I took up this SGM initiative. So you realize that anytime you go somewhere and then you're undertaking a project, you get a number of people who look up to you. And some come forward, some also look up to you virtually, indirectly. So I'm just open to people who feel they need to do more in society or they want to better their lives, like learning more, getting advice. Sometimes we have people who want to set up business and then they have no idea how to go about it. So I guide them with strategies. Yeah, so most of the time I find myself among young ones and they ask me a lot of questions, how I do this, how I do that. They want to do this, how they can go about it. So that's all what it has been about. Or you get an invitation to speak to young ones. So mostly my focus is on adolescents. I'm still young, so I cannot be advising big people,
Yeah.
So focus on adolescents, people who are now where I've been before, so that I share my experience and also my expertise for them to learn.
That's interesting. You have been working with an essential oils brand. Tell us about that as well, how the journey has been, what you do, and about the essential oils as well.
Okay, essential cosmetics.
I'm sorry, essential cosmetics.
Yes, essential cosmetics is an organic skincare brand that seeks to promote skin health and beauty. So Essential Cosmetics started, the idea of Essential Cosmetics started way back about 15 years ago when I was so young. You can see my skin, I'm very dark, and I always say that Ghanaians are racist. Africans are somehow racist, but usually we say the whites are racist. Can you imagine that? I was having a lot of names, like people were giving me a lot of names that made me feel so uncomfortable because I was very black. Sometimes you go somewhere and you are unable to make friends because you are very black. People will be calling you names. So it gave me this kind of inferiority complex. I wasn't confident. I couldn't open up that much. So growing up, I told myself that when I grow up, I'll set up a very big company that
embraces black skin.
Yeah, yes, not just black skin, but I'll manufacture skincare products that will let people accept who they are. And I also realized that TV adverts for skincare, they always used fair people, and I thought it wasn't fair. So I said, when I set up my company, I'll be using only dark people like me so that they'll also feel proud of their skin. I thought it was a joke. But as I was growing, the passion started becoming great, Then God being so good, things started working, falling in place, and now we have Essential Cosmetics, which is doing well. We have a number of products that have gone outside the borders of Ghana at the moment. Though we are not even a year old, we are going places. So we have our shea butter, shea and cocoa butter. People love shea butter so much, but sometimes because of the scent and how sticky it feels on your skin, sometimes it doesn't make you feel comfortable. So we've made it lighter, and we've made it very nice. It smells so good. I think I'll have to send some to you in Kenya.
That would be really nice.
Yeah, so you have yours.
Thank you.
So people like. Then we also have African black soap, what we call the Ghana soap. It's also loved by people. It's very good for the skin, but sometimes because of the scent and how harsh it is on the body, we've been able to make it smell very nice. We have the lemon flavor and we have the vanilla flavor. Men usually love this, and the women usually love this because of the sweet vanilla scent, which is also making waves in the market. Then, this is it. You will love it when you get yours.
That would be really... sorry?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
I was saying that would be really, really nice. As we wind up, for those who would like to, support your initiative and also purchase from your business, where would they find you? Maybe on social media, and maybe for your Ghanaian viewers, where would they find you physically?
Okay, so on Instagram, we are Essential Cosmetics Ghana. On Instagram, we are Essential Cosmetics Ghana. Essential Cosmetics Ghana,
Okay.
GH. Essential Cosmetics GH. Facebook, we are Essential Cosmetics. On Twitter, we are Essential Cosmetics. On TikTok, we are Essential Cosmetics. We are coming to Kenya very soon. We are in Rwanda already. So very soon we'll be in Kenya. We are in Nigeria. So we'll be going to the neighboring African countries very soon, where we will have wholesale sales points or sales agents people can buy from.
That's interesting. We do welcome you here. I would personally love to be a brand ambassador here in Kenya as you get into the market here.
Sure. Thank you. So we will talk after this.
No problem. Absolutely no problem. But as we wind up, your personal social media platforms where we can get you, for girls support movement and for keeping the vulnerable children in school as well.
So on Instagram, we are Girls Support Movement. Girls Support Movement.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter, Girls Support Movement.
Mm-hmm.
And on Facebook, Girls Support Movement. We also have one initiative that is called the Menstrual Clinic. So on Instagram, we are the Menstrual Clinic. At the Menstrual Clinic, we bring together young women, not just adolescent women, but women who are in their reproductive stage. So as soon as you start menstruating, you're in your reproductive stage through to your menopause age, where we organize screening programs and diagnostic programs for women to find out their reproductive problem and also help find solution to that. So we have a number of women that are at the moment treating their fibroids with us. Some have treated it. Yes, some are treating, some have treated, some to the infections we help them treat, and some to we are helping to take care of their reproductive health at large. So that is an initiative under Girls Support Movement in collaboration with a clinic, Ultimate Clinic. So we do that twice every year.
Oh, thank you so much, Joyce. I will be looking forward. I will reach out to you so that we can talk personally later. Thank you so much for your time. We've come to the end of the conversation. Have yourself a very, very beautiful day. And as we are winding up, I have some feedback. We have Mtoto wa Mariam. Tumeanza on a high note. Ama ni mimi umechelewa. Here, you're never ever late. You are never late on Woman Crush Wednesday. If you'd like, you can always catch the recap of the show. It's always on YouTube. And if you're streaming live from Facebook, you can always, rewind all the way to the beginning, catch up later. So you're never late. You're perfectly on time. We also have Princess Mary Ben. She's a trailblazer. Keep it up, Joyce. I agree. Women empowerment. Ellen White, good morning, Joyce. We are proud of you. Thank you so much for joining us, and have yourself a good day, Joyce.
Have a wonderful day too.
Thank you. Bye. We've come to the end of our launch, or rather our conversation with Joyce. Do not touch that dial. Woman Crush Wednesday still continues. We will be coming back with Patricia Roto, our supermodel, hairdresser, runway and commercial model, and also the current Miss Pink Ribbon. But right before we get into the conversation with Patricia, we will be getting into a short break. Go refill your cup of tea, maybe get a notebook, hint on your friends who are in the beauty industry to join in and get into this conversation. We will be coming back after this short break.